Hello, everyone. Welcome to the meeting about the 2026 trips. All right, I'm going to cover all of our trips that we're doing in 2026. If you see the QR code on your screen, you can scan that. It'll take you right to the Wine Educate Trips site. So you can look at these trips as I talk about them along the way. So all the trips are going to be held at Chateau Campbellsens. This is my family's vineyard in the south of France. There's mom and dad. It's a really a quite beautiful place in the world. It's on top of the mountain of Le Clap, which used to be an island actually, and then became part of the mainland. There's only a handful of vineyards on the mountain, and it is a national forest. So the only activity you can do is grape growing. So it's very beautiful, and at night you can see all the stars. Really very lovely. So this is a picture I took just this last spring. Those are the almond trees that are flowering, and that's overlooking one of the parcels of grapes they have. It's a good sized vineyard to have about 50 hectares that are planted. That's around 150 acres. So it's a real working vineyard. They grow all their own grapes, make all their own wine. Everything happens on the estate itself. So yes, we're right on top of the mountain, and if you look out, if it's a clear day, you can see the Mediterranean off in the distance. And if you're really lucky, you can see the Pyrenees. And when we were there this spring, we could see the Pyrenees, and they still had snow on top. Really beautiful. It's just natural wild herbs that grow everywhere. It smells so good there. So you'll just often see rosemary, thyme, sage just growing wild everywhere there. That's a big signature of just what it's like in the Languedoc in the Mediterranean. Here's a few pictures of the vineyard, the barrel room, the tasting room. We have a tasting tower. Over the years, my family's put in a lot of investment into this estate and made it a really beautiful place, but also made it a very functional space for groups, for classes, for events. To give you an idea of where we are located, Chateau Campbellsens is right at the top of the mountain of Le Clap, and it is in between the city of Narbonne and Narbonne Plage. So we are really close to the Mediterranean. We have a little beach down there, and you drive over the mountain of Le Clap to get to Narbonne. So depending on how you're traveling and where you're coming from, Narbonne is a really handy city to be the hub. And we are just about a 15-minute drive from the Narbonne city center itself. So you can fly into Barcelona and then take the train up from there. It's about a 2-hour train. Or you can fly into Paris, and that's about a 4.5-hour train. You can, of course, always rent a car and have more flexibility on either end. All of the trips are 5 days long, and I found that that's a really nice length to have a trip. It gives you just enough time to kind of get stuck in and really meet the other participants on the trip and engage in the activities, but it's not too long that you don't have time on either end, because it's really nice to have a few days on either end of this trip to visit these cities. I mean, they're tremendous cities, and I've had many people fly into one and fly out of the other, which is really fun. If you are traveling sort of east-west, however, it is a bit trickier with the trains. Many of the trains run north-south, so you may want to think about renting a car. Here I have my little picture of my train snacks. So you can get a little half bottle of champagne and some potato chips and have a really lovely time. Train travel in Europe is great. It's a really nice way to go. All right, so I'm going to briefly discuss the 4 trips we have planned for 2026. We have our level 3 boot camp, which is going to be over spring break. Then we have the Languedoc Food and Wine Experience. Then the WSET Level 2 Awarded Wines, And finally, last but not least, is our Wine and Pilates Retreat. I've done various versions of the Languedoc Food and Wine Experience trip in the past. Essentially, that is what we were doing. I've just given it its official title. And the level two, I'm about to leave for France in a few days, and we'll be teaching that level two. And the Wine and Pilates Retreat is new and really exciting. So I'll talk about that in just a minute. So first, the level three boot camp. So I created this as a way for students who have taken level two and maybe they've taken level three, or maybe they're about to take level three, but it's a great way to learn about these WSET level three concepts while on an actual vineyard, because the essay portion is a doozy for level three, and it's really helpful to be able to see all the concepts, see the winery, see the press, see the vines, and it helps to cement in those concepts. So we do a little bit of classroom time. We're focusing mainly on the theory, but within all these groups, we're going to eat. There's so much good food there, and I want everyone to know just the joy of the 3 hour lunch in the south of France, because it's pretty special. So that's the level three boot camp. These are the ladies, and she's on this trip. She's on this Zoom because she took the boot camp and now she wants to do, what is it, the Languedoc Food and Wine Experience, I think, which is really fun. So these are
Yeah.
the lovely ladies who went on my last boot camp. That's the seafood platter we had on the last night. And I think that lasted, what, 20 minutes before it was eaten? It was great fun. It was really good. All right, there they are again. We were visited a vineyard, drinking wine on overlooking the vines. Really nice. Okay, the Languedoc Food and Wine Experience. This is probably the easiest trip to put together because it's just such a wealth of beautiful products that you find in this region. We're right by the Mediterranean, so you've got all the seafood. They grow a lot of their own produce there. You've got things like honey production, lavender. This is actually an area where they harvest salt, which is really interesting. So we visit salt flats and buy all those gorgeous salt products. And I know I live in New Orleans and I shouldn't be so biased, but the oysters there are just the best. I mean, they're really, really delicious. So I just decided to use this picture of some of the oysters we had last summer. It'd be a great trip. It's also a really good trip for folks that have already taken some of our trips, or some of my past students who've already taken all the WSET classes. So my level three graduates, this is a good trip for you because we're also going to be doing really a regional focus on the wines themselves. So the sparkling wines of Limoux, we'll go to Picpoul, we'll check out Corbière, and just the wealth of really gorgeous wine appellations that are just there in the Languedoc. So this is going to be a super fun trip. Um, some learning, but also lots of eating. I can't stress that enough. We're going to be eating some really good food on these trips. I have a thing for anchovies, so there you go. There's my picture of anchovies. These are just some of the dishes we've had last summer at some of the restaurants. Because I can talk about it on and on, but a picture's worth 1,000 words. It's a gorgeous tuna dish. Just the seafood's tremendous. And this, I go to the grocery store and take pictures of the butter because they have like a whole aisle dedicated to butter, to yogurt, just all the wonderful things. All right, the level two award and wines trip. So we teach the level two class year round here at Wine Educate in the Independent. And once a year, we teach it in the south of France. So this is a certified WSET level two class. It is 8 2 hour sessions. So it is quite a bit of class time over 5 days. So we're going to do two classes a day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. But we're going to sprinkle in some market visits, some nice lunches, maybe some vineyard visits if we have time as well. Learning about wines on a vineyard is pretty great, right? I like to keep this group small-ish, so we stay around 14, so we can all fit in the classroom, and ends up being more of quite a smaller group. The Languedoc Food and Wine Experience and the Pilates trip. Those will both be around 24 people, which in the industry is still considered a smaller trip. We're not going to go any higher than that. We like to keep the group at a nice size. Same thing goes for the boot camp. I like to keep the boot camp smaller because it's very interactive, and I want to be able to ask you all lots of questions. All right, so this is just the WSET Level 2 textbook. And in this class, we are learning about the wines of the world. It's not just the wines of the Languedoc. So we'll be tasting 48 wines from all the different winemaking regions in the world. Just another little vineyard picture. Okay, the Wine and Pilates Retreat. So I'll tell you a little story about how this trip came to be. So I go to Sculpt Pilates, and I was just leaving a class, and I saw Natalie, and she said, "Joanne, how are things going?" I said, "Good, really good. Having a lot of fun with the trips." And she kind of lifted her head up. She goes, "What trips?" And so we started talking, and Natalie said it was her goal in 2026 to do some sort of Pilates retreat. And I was also thinking of doing some sort of summer camp, for lack of a better word, but wine, but also another activity, just really a lot of fun. And that's how the Wine and Pilates Retreat was born. So let me tell you a little bit about what we'll be doing for this trip. Oh, there's Natalie. Some of you may know her, Sculpt attendees. She is great, and her classes are excellent. This is a building we have on the vineyard called the Bergerie, and it used to be where the sheep went at night to keep them safe. Now it's a wedding hall, so we have weddings there most weekends. It's a really large, beautiful space. Inside, it's stone arches, and it's going to make a great Pilates studio. So we don't have reformer machines, right? But it's going to be a mat Pilates class every morning. And Natalie has a really good philosophy of how she wants to teach it. She's going to teach it almost as if she was training you the basics of Pilates so that you could build upon it. So every day we're going to build on that knowledge. And I think that's a really great approach and goes so nicely hand in hand with the wine class that we're also going to offer with the trip itself. So the level 1 awarded wines will be taught on this trip. I think this is a great course. We just taught it yesterday, all in one day, but we're going to break this up over 4 days, so an hour and a half session. So these classes aren't like a lot of wine to drink. It's more sipping, tasting, discussing, and doing these tasting activities in a group is just a lot of fun. These classes are meant to be non-intimidating, really welcoming, and fun, right? If it's not fun, why would we do it? More food and wine. And I will say, because I've had some of my level 3 students also express a big interest in the wine and Pilates class, because Nancy and I, my other educator, will both be going, we can split up the wine classes. So we can have folks that want to take the level 1 wine class, or if people think that maybe that's just a bit intimidating and they don't want to work on a certified course, we'll be offering some other classes at the same time, like the sparkling wines from the Languedoc or white grape varietals from the Languedoc, something like that. So it's like a choose your own adventure in that regard. You can choose the wine class that suits you the best. Okay, so I have a sample itinerary. This one is specific to the Wine and Pilates trip, but all the itineraries are similar in some ways, in that some days I have an early morning activity, which is all this is optional, right? This is your vacation. You get to do what you like. But some people really like to get up and out early and get more physical activity. So I'm doing these optional vineyard walks nice and early when it's still relatively cool. And then we've got the morning Pilates from 9 to 10. And right after that, we will do the wine class. Then we roll into lunch. Lunch is in the south of France. 3 hours may seem like an eternity, but it is exactly how you want to spend your time. It is just a lovely way to eat, relax, get to know the other people on the trip, slow down a little bit, and just enjoy all the amazing food that they have in this region. And every time after lunch, we have siesta time. So siesta time can be used to actually take a siesta, or you can go by the pool, or maybe you have something else going on that you want to do. It's just a little downtime. This is the summer in the south of France. It does get hot. So this is the hottest part of the day. And maybe you just need a break from the sun. The summer solstice is about to happen. It won't get dark at the vineyard this time of year until like 10 o'clock at night. So the days are really long. So you might enjoy this little break in the middle of the day to do whatever you would like to do. Then we're going to have an optional Pilates session in the evening. And this is Natalie's thinking more of like stretching, refreshing, nothing too vigorous. And then we roll into dinner. And many of the dinners will be hosted at the vineyard itself. So we can bring in caterers, we can open our own wine. Some evenings we will have music and other things going on. It's just really beautiful there and it's private, and why not? Bring on our own food and wine. And then I can also do like a mini wine lesson at the beginning of dinner. Nothing too heavy, but say, hey, we've got this wine, this made in this certain style. It's very interesting. It's going to pair really well with the food, and just add a little bit more value with the wine content. Okay, so all the trips are roughly priced the same. It's $4,250 for single occupancy. But if you have a friend and you share a room, it comes down quite a nice bit to $3,750 if you want to have a roommate, right? The deposit is $1,250. And if you want to do that, you can go directly to the website and sign up there for the deposit. Please be mindful that it is a non-refundable deposit. It is transferable. So if you do it and you can't go, but then a friend wants to go, you can transfer it. You can also postpone it. So if you can't do it that year, believe me, I know life happens. You can roll it over into the next summer and do it then. All right. I hope that cleared up a lot. If you have further questions, you can email me directly, Joanne at wineeducate.com. Again, these are the 4 trips, and that is the QR code that you can look at. I've got full itineraries posted for all of these trips, but please do note that they are subject to change, because a year from now, one of the restaurants I list could have closed. Life happens, things happen, but the itineraries do give you a little bit of an idea of what you can expect. All right. If anyone has any questions, I would love to answer your questions. You can unmute yourself and ask me.
Hey, Joanne, it's Marguerite. Thank you so much for doing this. Hi. This is so awesome. I'm really excited about it. Question about the technology. I'm a moron with regard to technology. If I can't sort out the QR code, is there a direct website I can just go to, or should I work through the?
Yes, that's a great question, and I should have put it up there. So yes, go to Wine Educate, and
Yep.
at the top you'll see one on the navigation bar. It'll say trips.
Got it. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's a great question. I should have put that up there. Yeah. Anyone else have a question?
Oh, I have a secondary question. How
Sure.
quickly, in your experience, have these trips filled up?
Well, it's interesting because 2 of these are relatively new.
Yeah.
I have 3 people from the last level 2 trip that couldn't come, so they've been rolled into the next one. So I only have 11 spots for the level 2 trip. The Wine and Pilates, the response from it has been very strong. Both Natalie and I have had a lot of people reach out to us, express strong interest in it. We've sold 3 so far, and we've just started to promote it. So I do anticipate that the Wine and Pilates Retreat will sell out.
Okay.
Yeah, the level 2 will sell out purely because there's not a lot of spots. And the Languedoc Food and Wine Experience, I've got a lot of interest in that as well.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Cindy, you got a question for me? I know you're there.
No, I don't have any questions. I'm just excited to go back.
Well, do you want to share because you went to the boot camp and you can say a little bit about it?
The boot camp was great. It gave you a little taste of the area around um Capel's Ends, but I want to experience more. Like it was too
Okay.
much of just a little taste. But the class was great. It was a really good introductory to the level 3 class from what I, you know, took part of. But I just want to go back and see it all now.
You just
That
want
I'm
to eat and drink more is what's
Yeah,
what's going
pretty.
on.
It was a lot of eating and drinking. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's great. So you're thinking of the Languedoc Food and Wine Experience then?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Does anyone else have any questions?
Mm-mm.
Well, if you think of something later, do email me. I'm very happy to answer any questions. If you want to hop on a phone call, is no problem. I'm very happy to chat with you about this. I know there's a lot of moving parts going to another country, going to a place you've never been. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. All right, guys.
Thanks again.
Yes, thank you for joining. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.